What's up, YouTube? Yes, how are you doing? It is Sunday. Price is still ranging, but hopefully we can catch something interesting, which is also the reason why I am live. So we might actually be able to catch something interesting. Maybe a little bit of a move, I hope. So let's see if we can actually potentially maybe see a little bit of a move today during the live stream. I can't be live for too long today. It's not going to be a 5-hour stream, likely like an hour max. But let's see what we can catch on the chart in the meantime. How are you doing, everyone? Right, good to see you here. So Jared, welcome. Nadiri, unknown. How are you doing? It's a nice day, hopefully for you. For me as well. And it is sunny in the Netherlands during winter. Love to see it. So yeah, very, very nice indeed. Now in this live stream, of course, we're going to go through Elliott Waves. Counting this local range does not make too much sense. I do have a couple of thoughts about it. Of course, the past couple of, I suppose, videos, I have been zooming out a bit more as well, instead of zooming into this local range here, because of the complexity and all the three-wave structures that we have locally. But yeah, we of course are going to talk about Elliott Waves and maybe catch a bit of a move, which would be fun to see as well. And yeah, then we see where we end up. Of course, we always have the chatting session after, where put the chat on the screen and talk with all of you. Basically like a Q&A almost always. Like Hugo Roll, welcome. Buenos dias. How are you doing? Muaram Imam Chowdhury, how are you doing? Welcome. Good to see you here. So my like, I appreciate that. I'll click on the heart for you, sir. Very kind. Thanks. Okay, so let's have a look then, shall we? Let's have a look as more and more people coming as well. Welcome, everyone. Also the people just coming in. Yeah, Elliott Waves. Sometimes things are very clear, sometimes not so much. But that is where zooming out helps. And of course, over the past couple of, I should say not days, but basically the last few videos, as mentioned earlier just now, I've been zooming out. I've been mainly talking about this structure here as well, right? And there is the potential here for an impulse in continuation, but counting this here does not make any sense. It's very complex. Now I have a couple of thoughts about it, but yeah, we're just looking at this range as a whole, preferably. And I will repeat shortly what I mentioned in previous videos, but then we're going to zoom in here, right, to the local time frames, because for the ones that have been on the channel for a while, you've seen the previous videos, the medium time frame scenarios and all that stuff. So I will only cover that very shortly, almost like a summary, because if you want to see the whole explanation, you can of course go to the recent videos. It doesn't really add anything to your lives if I repeat too much of the stuff, right? Because price is doing absolutely nothing, but that's what hopefully changes during the live stream, no? Okay, bullish scenario here. We're looking for a wave 5 to the upside, where we have a finished WXY, flat complex XY to the downside, and then a zigzag on the lower time frames, where this is then your low, this is your 1, 2, you want to see continuation to the upside, and eventually a wave 3 to finish the bigger wave 5. Target area can be seen on the chart, right? As long as this low over here is not taken, or we don't move impulsively to the downside, this is currently the best probability scenario, where the, let's see, alternative bullish scenario here is if price does move to the downside and we go into a bigger 4. So this one here. And then we have 1, 2, 3, bigger 4, 5, preferably ending after the 382, 31st of January, where the structure we are forming here is then only a wave AW, BXCY, right? We are looking for a bigger 3-wave structure. Target areas on the chart as well, 34,840K. This is the alternative if price does move towards the downside first, right? Then the probabilities do increase for this one here on a medium time frame. Of course, that does mean also in the big four, by the way, that you have an ending structure here. Either wave 5 ends here. Wave 5 being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Ends either here or here, but it doesn't really matter. Not at the moment, at least. Of course, bearish is an ABC that is finished, but at the moment probabilities are higher for this high here to be a wave B or a wave X high, meaning the probabilities are higher. The move to the downside is a C or Y, increasing the probabilities that price will find its way up back above this high. So this scenario here at the moment does carry lower probabilities compared to the scenarios where we are looking for upside, either for in 5 or move down, but then still be a wave 4 and not the end of a wave C, where we are looking for much lower prices to come, right? Because that would be a macro bear market scenario, A, B, C up, finished, move down. For me, that has low probabilities because of the final structure here, also an expanding diagonal, which is very rare. And the move to the downside we had from this high has a truncated wave 5, which is very rare, never preferred, and therefore also has low probability. So an expanding diagonal structure to finish then a wave 5, starting a move down with a truncation. You know, it's low probability on top of low probability equals very low probability. No, so that is not really something that we are looking for. And the double 1, 2, also not the greatest probability because of the range over here. And preferably a wave 2 is like a zigzag structure, especially on a higher time frame where this wave 2 was very sideways and very shallow. I would love to see the second wave 2 being very deep. Currently, we are not even close to the target areas, target area 4, the green wave 2 here, pulled from the low to this high. So we would need more downside, but then again, if we take this low, probabilities are higher. We go in a bigger wave 4 compared to a wave 2. But if price hits the 618, then we have to think about a wave 2. But we're very far away from that at the moment, right? So then we zoom in, and yeah, we go to what we see over here. Now I have to quickly look at my scenarios here to see what's up. I can just share with you what I have, which is of course stuff I mentioned in the video shortly. This is the scenario down where if this is the high of your bigger C, macro bear scenario, right? This would be the end 5, bigger move down. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, your 5 is truncated. That's never preferred, low probabilities, and you can't have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Doesn't work. So low probabilities that if price does move down, it's going to be part of a bigger impulse. If price would move down, probabilities are higher. It's a corrective structure to the downside, which therefore increases probabilities that sooner or later we take this high. So that is the reason why I have been mentioning that in a couple of videos. This is very much a three-wave structure. At least the highest probability is that this is a three-wave structure, which therefore increases probabilities to take the high sooner or later, right? So then what's the WXY? Ah, yeah. I hope you like my design. I had an inspirational session with myself, and I started to draw some stuff on the chart for the video. I will remove this one though, because arguably it's a 5-wavy as well. But what's important here is then if this is the end of your wave 4, right, WXY, we look for a move up, then if we are looking for an impulse, we want to see 5 waves, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if we look for potential B, which for me has lower probabilities, as we'll explain in a second, then you're looking for a 3-wave structure and a move down. Now, that is the question, 3 or 5 waves. Then we have our beautiful yellow line. We already grabbed the liquidity of this range, right? Over here, we've been ranging for a while, people going short and long and all that liquidity. Eventually, the shorts get stopped over here, right? If they didn't take profit and put their stop loss break even, or TPs were hit. If they were looking for much lower prices, they were wrong. Possibly stop loss hit. But also the breakout traders that now think, hey, damn, we're closing candles over here. We might be retesting the range, right? Support, resistance. They also got stopped there, or at least are in a bit of a panic, I can imagine. So we already grabbed the liquidity of this range with this move to the upside. So If price then moves to the upside and hits these highs, the probabilities for me are higher. We're going to be looking for a wave 5 compared to a B and down. So that means probabilities for me are higher. We are going to see an impulsive 5-wave structure compared to a 3-waver, and then continuation to the downside in potentially then a wave C, A, B, C, right? So that fits that scenario. The triangle, man, this is a scenario that goes into this local range. This is the bears already explained. This is the macro bull. We can go over these two because the local range, right, is a bit of a pain in the ass. So let's see what we have. Okay, we can at least shortly chat about it. Yeah. So let's go to the 30-minute. Besides Elliott waves, of course, I use other tools as well, which for me is very important to know what also sometimes the highest probability is, because Elliott waves is not always clear, right? What we do see locally, of course, we spoke about the 3-wave structure here. Now this move to the upside, it can be 5, it can be 3. It's not a nice impulse, but arguably it can be, because you then have a 1, 2 with a flat, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ending your 5 there. Have another 4, possibly a running flat in here, for then a final move in 5. Like, this portion is very annoying because this is your 2 versus this is then your 4, right, of your impulsive 1, 2, 3, 4, small little 5. It's a bit awkward, but it could work if we look at this being a 3-waver and potential upside. Now then we have the move to the downside, which equally very, very much looks like a 3-wave move to the downside as well. And this is where things then start to become very, very complex, because you have a 3-waver, right? Potentially 5 or 3-waver. Then we have another 3-wave, and then we get this. So I've been, I suppose, thinking, but not too much thinking, because it hurts my brain trying to count all of what is happening here locally, right? You have a big wick to the downside. You got this candle with also another wick to the upside. Then you have this going on. Could there be a flat in here, right? In potentially here a 3-waver, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, possibly. Right? I haven't even checked it in a strong detail. Just by eye, I've been thinking about, could this be a flat structure? Can this be a potential 1 and then a flat? I don't know. Right? And then you have more like another big wick, right? So there's a lot of wicky price action as well. After the wick here, what happens? We move down, we move up, we move down. This move down, is this a 5-waver or is this a 3-waver? Very, very small potential 2, arguably a 4, could be a 5-waver, but there is overlap between this low and that high, not allowed in an impulse. So this is also not a great structure. And then here, price is just ranging slowly towards the upside, right? Volume, dead. This range is absolutely dead, right? There's nothing going on. Sometimes Elliott waves is not clear, no? So let's have a look at those few scenarios. In a WXY, where you have this WX instead of Y finished here, Y can also be a triangle. W flat, X complex, Y a triangle, which could be an explanation of a lot of 3-wave structures, right? In the end, the result is the same, because if we end Y here, we look for upside. If we look for a triangle, we are looking for a range, but upside. So the invalidation is very, very clear. 3-wave move down. Now in this scenario, this then has to be... Man, I'm still not 100, eh? Shit, so sorry, guys. You're like sitting with your earphones. It's like a guy coughing in your ear. I better leave my bottle here open, because I'll be drinking. Holy moly. It's not an ASMR stream, everyone. You get that, right? Jeez. So if we look for a triangle, Flotty, is Flotty here? I see the hearts. This is, come on, show yourself. Who's the one? Usually it's Flotty if he's here. If triangle, right? So wave Y, yeah, there he is. I mean, of course he is. There he is. What's up, Flotty? I will come back to chat in a second. I just noticed the hearts. A wave Y can also be a triangle, but all of the waves have to be zigzag structures, or one of the waves is a double, triple zigzag, or then a triangle, which is only allowed then in wave E. So at least quote unquote commonly, because it's very rare to have a triangle in a triangle. So we have then a zigzag one here. Now this then has to be a zigzag, but as mentioned, can be 3 wavy, can be 5 wavy. This move is not too clear both ways. Now this is quite a nice 3 wave structure, which therefore also increases probabilities to take this high here sooner or later, right? Because of the 3 wave nature of this move here to the downside. Then we got this rubbish and a bit of a grind to the upside. We don't really have like A, B, C, D. Could this be E potentially? And then another like 1, 2 continuation? Possibly, right? But then maybe need a little dip before continuation to the upside. Of course, bullish divergences are still there, as well as bearish, by the way. We'll get to that in a second. But at least the triangle is something I keep an eye on, but they're very difficult to identify at times. Usually what people say in Elliott Waves is if you have no idea what's happening, it's probably a triangle. So, you know, something I consider at least. If we do look at that first structure being a wave 1 or A, and we look for an impulse, right? We need 2 or B and then a wave 3 or C to the upside. Now, of course, it is still weekend, which tends to be rangy price action. We did hit the target area for a wave 2 as well as B, but also wave 2 most commonly is 05786. So we hit it with the wick. But is wave 2 looking finished here? We got a 3 wave structure to the downside here. And then we do this. If there would be a triangle here, a triangle is not allowed in 2, only in B, increasing probabilities for an A, B, C and a move down. So in a wave 2, you don't want to see a triangle. Now, if this would be your first move down, you can only finish above this high really with a WXY scenario, where you then have a W, zigzag, X, whatever X is, and then a wave Y. And Y, because W is a zigzag, Y can then only be a flat structure or a triangle. And in both of these scenarios, Y does not have to take the low of W. If you look at a zigzag, A, B, C, wave C by far most commonly takes the low of A, right? It's incredibly rare to get a truncated C. And if you look for a flat, then you look for an A, B, C, most commonly expanding flats, also ending below the low of A. So preferably, you would then see another, arguably another move to the downside. This wave 2B is starting to be long, but definitely not yet close to invalidation. It's now between the 1.618 and 2 fib time of A or 1, which is still fine, right? It's still okay. Now for a WXY, as mentioned, this is, I didn't do an exact measurement of X, right? You can have zigzag W, A, potential flat in B, C over here, end of your X. X most commonly is a zigzag structure, by the way. So that could be your X. And then what, right? Y, flat or triangle, if that is the case. Triangle does not really work nicely with this move to the upside, because that would then be wave B, but wave B is then going to be a complex structure, which has lower probabilities, because if one of the waves in a triangle is complex, double, triple zigzag, it's by far most common C or D. And wave E can also be a triangle itself, but that's even more rare. And not wave B. So wave B being then like a more complex structure is not preferred, right? From an Elliott Wave perspective, wave Y perspective. I think, I don't know why I have this scenario. I had this one on my chart, A, B, C, D, and then E. But that, yeah, I don't know. See this has to be your E, which then has to be, of course, a zigzag. And then you want to see a move to the downside, not seeing this high taken. Invalidation would be this one here. I don't know. It's just a scenario I have at least in my folders, just in case. But this would then be a W X triangle Y. And then because W here is a zigzag, wave Y again can only be a flat or then a triangle. Yeah. Okay, the range. We have been grinding the top of the range here for quite a long time now. Of course, the more often you test resistance, generally, the weaker it becomes. Of course, here, resistance, resistance, moved above, moved back down. Support, 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 support. Clear support resistance area. Now we have been grinding over here. We have tested it once, twice, 3 times now, after we already moved above once. So it's a very, very clear resistance area, but we are above the point of control, which is at least important for potential upside. All right, so I keep an eye on the point of control here, 43.7K, value area high, 44.2, clear resistance here. And this white box, you want to flip it, no? 44K to 44.2K, and above that we have this blue box, 44.9, 45.3K for resistance. I can remove the monthly here. We still got the yearly, 46.2K as well. So on the medium time frame, as explained, we still expect higher prices. The main question is, what happens in the range? No. Now I have another triangle here, but this would be for an A, B, C, or at least a 3-wave structure up, of course, where you would expect another move down before continuation to the upside. This is like, so I'm just sharing. I'll get to the probabilities at the end, right? I'm just planting some seeds, sharing my thoughts, because counting this shit is absolutely useless, right? It doesn't, you just, like, sometimes Elliott Wave's patience, it's just patience. But we can get to probabilities by looking at the bigger structures and zooming out a little bit, right? So another thing, if we have a move here to the upside, right, and we would be looking for a 1 or A, this is the flat I mentioned. You're going to be looking for an A, B, C. 0.9 is not yet hit. So you want to see that one hit, right? WXY here, we already spoke about this one. So local range, also here, grinding the upper box, right? Hit once, hit twice, hit 3 times, arguably another one. The more often you test resistance, the higher the probability you're going to break it. We got the CVD divergences here, bullish as well, bullish here, bullish here. We do have some counter CVDs as well, some bearish ones, but they're not strong enough yet to push price below this point of control. So for me, this point of control is important here, which is sitting at 43.9. If price can move below here, yeah, we could be looking for a rotation. But as long as we are grinding here against the white box, probabilities increase for a move to the upside, which is also the reason, by the way, why I went live, because I hope that we can actually potentially see a move, which would be so nice, because it's very frustrating to make videos 3 times a day while locally nothing really happens, right? Or at least candles are printed, but there are so many 3-wavy structures. It's very, very difficult to count this in detail. But that is where, again, we get to the probabilities, no? Where, because this move is a 3-wave structure to the downside, probabilities increase to take this high sooner or later. WXY, end of 4, currently has the highest probability, right? Where then you're going to be looking for continuation up in a 5. However, if this low is taken, we're going to be looking for a bigger wave forward to the downside, as explained earlier, right? Which is that yellow scenario, which is this one here, right? Where we have the yellow 3, look for the yellow 4. That does mean that locally, if we are looking for a move up, we want to see continuation out of this range to the upside. And for me, that means flipping those white boxes. This one, it's the bigger one, no? 44.4K, that's the high of that box. As you can see, it's just been resistance. Yeah, we went above, by the way, but if you zoom out a little bit, because this is the bigger box, so I prefer to go to a 4-hour time frame to observe the whole range, and then that, you know, shows this box on a 4-hour time frame. You can clearly see no candles above the box. On a 15-minute, yeah, but on a 15-minute you can't see the whole range nicely. So you got to go to the time frame where you can see the whole range nicely, and then look at the box here. But no candles closing above, and then more locally, of course, 30-minute, 1-hour time frame, we have this resistance. I put this one on the chart this morning after we rejected here again, and then I noticed resistance, 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 support, support. So that is why I have the two boxes there. And yeah, that's basically it, no? So yeah, I saw price moving a little bit to the upside here, holding the point of control, which for me was a reason like, yeah, let's see if we can catch something on the Sunday. Would be nice. So yeah, let's see if we get anything. Oh yeah, I had a couple of 886s on my chart earlier. This was an 886 retracement from the high to the low. Toggle on the 886. You can see here 886 is hit. The reason why I highlight, by the way, the 886 is because the 886 is a more common target for a B or an X, increasing probabilities any move down or up, is a C or Y, increasing probabilities to later take the high or the low. Now this is quite a weird little structure, of course. Arguably a three-wave structure, of course. It's not a long impulse to the downside. So that would increase probabilities to take these highs at a certain moment. And then here locally, you also had an 886 touch from the low here to the high. From the low here to the high, you can see 886 is touched. And we came down, but we actually didn't take it. The point of control acting as support here. And that's what I mentioned in silver as well this morning, is I keep an eye on the point of control, right? Like, as long as this is holding, I'm not really looking for a rotation to the downside. And if we test this white box again, right, probabilities each time just slowly increase to take the high, take the high, take the high. And if so, looking for the box here. What we have in the box, by the way, let me show you, is a daily 44,972 and a point of control of this previous range at 45,283. It's actually not in ATAS a naked point of control, but I just put it myself because for me it's an important level, the point of control of the range of the high, right? So yeah, let's see if the timing of the stream is correct and we get a little bit of action, or if it's going to be a continuation of the shit that we've had here. The past week the move down was exciting. That is when we streamed as well. Then we moved here up 3-4. It's basically half the week. So we are gonna observe what price does. And yeah, I got my alarm set, of course, as well, to make sure that if something happens, if this high is taken, that's one of my alarms, if this high is taken here. And if price continues moving up to the blue box, I have another alarm so that I will be notified. If price moves below the point of control, got another alarm. And if price moves to the lower end of the range, I have another alarm. So got my alarm set. But yeah, as mentioned, you know, let's see if we get a move here. What's up, chat? How you doing? Let's see if we are online on the right time. Chatting part of the live stream. Oh, wait, that also means I now gotta put text at the top of the window. Elliott Wave analysis at the start of the stream. Now chatting. Oh wait. Okay, there we go. Put that down there. And if someone just... YouTube, if you're watching... Wait, engage with your audience. What's this? Start a Q&A, start a poll. I see. Blaster, what's up? Oh, I need one more. Okay, wait. Same as last time. Okay. 1 second, I'll restart the chat so that I can put the comment at the top. Come on. And then go pin the message. Message pinned. Beautiful. There you go. Voilà. Très bien, mon ami. Okay. Scroll up. So how was your Sunday? What have you been up to this weekend? What have you been up to? So I had a gender reveal on Friday where it's a girl, by the way. They already have a boy and they're going to have a girl now. So that's very nice. They did it with fireworks. Very, very cool. And on yesterday, what did I do yesterday? I did a gymming, bit of cleaning, reading. I was hanging out with Diamond in Discord. Yeah, it was a good day. Doing some work and today as well, stuff to do. So yeah, every day a little bit of progress. No, a little bit of progress. We were here. This week is surely interesting. It is. It's been grinding sideways for a long time, but hey, there's a reason why we stream, because we are testing the white box again. We held the point of control, as mentioned just now during the Elliott Wave analysis part. We got the bullish CVD divergences, and the bearish ones didn't manage to put price below the point of control here. So, you know, would be nice if we catch a move during the live stream again. Then we had the move down and we maybe get a little bit of a spike up. Who knows? Kenny, how you doing, man? Kenny moved from Canada to Portugal. Sunshine. Hopefully you enjoy it. Kun is killing it. Was that you that beat the Tetris game? Yeah. Nope. I saw the post though, and I also saw the video about the story of him beating Tetris. Yeah. Level 157, very, very impressive. 13 years old, beating the game. Really, really cool to see as well. For people that don't know, I used to be a pro gamer, not in Tetris, by the way, in a race game, but I'm very much involved with the industry still. Broncos, how you doing? Buenos dias. Des Hispana, my like. You both are the same. Good to have you here, guys. Sartak Agawal, what's up? How you doing? Julien. Nice to discover your channel a few days ago. Pricing on the point of control. POC of control. The POC is the shortcut for point of control, but you are right. It could go through today. That's also correct, which is the reason why I put on the stream as well. Could be a little bit of interesting price action after the sideways moves we had over here. Flotty, of course, joining. Jared, Ishimoku Cloud and price very interesting weekly, but RSI is terrible. Oh, I don't really use other tools too much, but I what's the RSI? We might actually have a move. Let me write it down so we can check it later. Weekly RSI Ishimoku Cloud. I don't know, what does the cloud show? Ishimoku. What does it show here? What are we doing? Holy moly. Wait. Yeah, I never use indicators, so okay, never mind. I believe in what you say. Of course I believe in what you say. I was just interested to have a look, but yeah, I didn't prep, of course, an Ishimoku cloud indicator. So what's up, Christian? How you doing, man? Abderrahim Amdreich, Bitcoin will be bull on 44k. Well, we are in the 44k area, 44.2 now, of course. So let's see what happens. Blaster, it could be worth doing some stats, but I've always got told that we generally have wave 4BX during weekends. Yeah, because generally it tends to range, and not impulsively. You don't really tend to see strong impulsive moves. So a wave 2 most commonly is a zigzag structure, which is basically 2 impulses. While weekend price action, it tends to be rangy, which then works better for indeed a wave 4, wave B, wave X, wave W, wave Y, wave Z even. So yeah, correct. What are your thoughts on XRP? Only covering Bitcoin at the moment though. Name, by the way, let me show you something that I think will be useful for you lads, right? Especially for people that also ask about XRP and stuff. There are a few people I sometimes look at on Twitter, because it's interesting. I love Elliott Waves. Some other people use Elliott Waves as well, but I of course like to look at good Elliott Wavers. So what I can recommend, and they have no idea that I shout them out here, but look at Hov. Oops, I need to refresh. So keep an eye on these, right? I think especially for the altcoin guys here, they do more altcoin stuff. So Hov over here, right, also puts out educational things. He has a paid group, of course, as well. But there's a lot of free info about XRP, for example, here as well, right? Then you have X-Force Global, great guy as well. And he generally posts about Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP. He now has a bit of a, poll going on, I suppose, asking people what they want. This was yesterday, though, so I'm not sure what he's up to. But yeah, he posts Bitcoin stuff as well as ETH and XRP. And then occasionally Trading Hub. He doesn't post a lot, but you know, it's a good dude. His recent post was a few days ago on DXY, and then Bitcoin here. I rarely ever look or watch at other Elliott Wavers because I have my own thing, but occasionally I do like to have a look at what other people have, you know, because we're in the same industry together. And on YouTube, there's a few that are interesting. Trade Devils, Green Star Trading. Like quality Elliott Waves where like rules are respected. Most of the time, at least, would be Green Star Trading and Trade Devils. Yeah, regarding Elliott Waves, at least. So maybe that's useful for some of you as well. Of course, I also sometimes do altcoins, right, during a stream, like streams, and I will do a very, very big altcoin stream as well, where we're gonna do a vote, and I will go through. Jeez, the itch here, and I will go through a lot of altcoins during the stream. It's going to be like a 5 hour. It's going to be like a whole day, 5-6 hour, maybe longer stream. Where I will go through the altcoins, because I do have analysis on many altcoins, but you know, usually we talk Bitcoin, and it's only high time frame analysis. I rarely ever go low time frame, and it's just based on questions I get asked. So yeah. Jeez. Come on now. Move it. And also, or like in gold and silver, if I get questions in gold, especially a lot of altcoins. In silver, sometimes we have a live stream, not too often. First time I did a live stream for silver, barely anyone was actually there. They are mainly there for the updates, of course, which I understand. Name, what's up? How are you doing? The Dusty Hunt, good morning. How are you doing? Video Kingdom, what's up? You were first indeed. Not today, but on the video. Egol Solomon, happy Sunday yourself as well. Chatting starts now. Exactly. What's up, Justin? How you doing? Hope you're having a nice winning position. Bigger MC, Disneyland Paris with the kids for a week, then drove back to the Netherlands yesterday. Welcome back, Disneyland Paris. Man, it's such a Disneyland Paris. It's actually weird to pronounce that in English. It's so Dutch. Disneyland Paris. Very used to saying that in Dutch, but it's such a great theme park. I was there with my parents long time ago, and man, I enjoyed it. They still have a picture as well together in Disneyland Paris. My mom is from Paris. Hope you had a good time yourself, Bigger MC, with the kids. Faisal, appreciate your videos from Jordan. Welcome, Faisal. Thank you. I'm happy making them. Always enjoy it. Andreas Satas, what's up? How you doing? Good to have you here. Avin Moorville as well. Happy Sunday. Jayeno Eduardo. It just shows the trend movement, Koen. Yes. Yeah. And of course, if the cloud, I do know how to use the cloud. It's just that I don't have the indicator on my chart because I don't use indicators except keeping an eye on CVD, which for me is the indicator I use, I suppose, but it's not a trading view indicator that I use. Of course, with the cloud, if it condenses, right, it becomes smaller and smaller. We can expect a push, and if it's in the high end or the lower end of the cloud as well, you tend to see it retrace back to the baseline. You can build a whole strategy around using the Ishimoku cloud, of course, for the ones that use it. Maybe some people here use it, actually, the Ishimoku cloud. Yes, couldn't find how to edit my POC of control into POC. I see. Yeah, no problem. I'm actually not even sure if you can edit your comment here. I mean, I can, of course, do a whole lot of stuff, but not change it. Just join. What's your prediction 7 days from now? I would recommend watching the beginning of the stream because we do talk about the higher time frame as well. Or let's say daily 12-hour time frame. As it stands, like 7 days, so you are talking about medium time frame probabilities. At the moment, would be higher to take the highs. But that very much depends on the local price action. And this range, of course, has been quite a pain. If price would move down, then we are going to be looking for a bigger wave 4, right? A longer corrective structure, as explained in the beginning. But as long as this low holds, and we are seeing high, low, high, low, high, low, high, low, high, low, we are going to keep our eyes on looking for higher probability-wise from an Elliott Wave point of view, where we are then looking for a WXY, zigzag in Y finished, continuation up, or possibly a triangle in Y, but I don't know, I'm never a big fan of triangles. What do you think of Beam and Psi? That would be something for the altcoin streamer. We'll do soon. I will also, by the way, update you by a community post when I plan the altcoin stream, where I will go through like a lot of altcoins. I will write them all down and we do a vote as well. But then instead of the top 3, or, we just go through like most of the list. So that's going to be exciting, but I got to put it in my agenda because it's not something that I can just do because of the amount of time it takes. Yeah. I mean, some people can use multiple indicators at the same time, but I've never really been an indicator type of trader, except for using CVD, but I don't use TradingView for that. So I did use VWAP for a while. I recorded many statistics on VWAP as well. But eventually, it just didn't work for me. I actually used it for quite a long time in my strategy in the very beginning. But I noticed that I started to use it less and less. It didn't really impact my strategy anymore because I was taking a certain direction of my strategy, making some different choices and tweaking it. And it just didn't work anymore, so I removed it. Is the declining volume in Bitcoin in general due to the fact that exchanges stop manipulating volumes? I always love the word manipulation for the people that have been here more often. So look, my answer, very quick, very simply, would be, it doesn't matter. What I would recommend is to focus on things that you can control, unrelated to what is behind the volume. Market makers, manipulation, bots, AI, buying and selling. It doesn't matter, because it won't make you better or worse as a trader. What will make you, well, hopefully not worse. It will make you worse, because you're going to put potential either blame, or you're going to look at things that are very unlikely to help you become profitable, if you know what I mean. You got to try to stick with yourself and what you have impact on, right? Like, who cares if the chart moves because people buy or sell? I mean, that's in the end, that's what happens, right? Or it's a bot, or it's AI, or it's manipulation, or it's whatever, right? It doesn't matter, because we can't control that part of what trading is, right? Forex, crypto, indices, it doesn't matter what industry you're in. You won't control it. It's just there. You can trade fundamental news, you can trade technical analysis, and then it's about how do you use those elements that you can control. So for me, I'm a technical trader, not a fundamental one, but I very much respect fundamental trading. But in my case, I look at the tools that I can use. Hey, if someone has the copy pasta that we spoke about last time, this is a nice moment to implement it. Okay, here are your few steps to avoid manipulation and all that stuff, right? 1, try to, if you're technical. If you're fundamental, then the steps change a little bit. But 1, try as many tools as you can. 2, build data on the tools. 3, combine the tools. 4, build statistics on the combination of the tools. 5, tweak the combination, add something, remove something, it depends on what direction you want to go with your strategy. 5, trade with confidence, and you stop caring about any of the external stuff. Because anything external, I mean, besides people being fundamental traders, right? But they build a strategy around news, but why the chart moves, it doesn't matter. We don't necessarily have to understand. It won't make you necessarily profitable or not. It's just trying to find a strategy that gives you the highest probabilities over 100 trades to be a winning trader. That is important for me. Besides, I don't really believe in manipulation and all that stuff. Like, if people, their stop losses get triggered, right? I mean, by the way, it depends on the coin. Of course, you sometimes have like what is that? A rug pull on some random altcoin, and of course. But if your stop loss gets hit and price moves, and it happens, but it's not like, oh, the market makers are targeting my very small little stop loss and now I got triggered and now it moves. It's about statistics and data. You put your stop loss somewhere, see it as your mistake, not, oh damn, I got triggered because manipulation, or because market makers took my position, or they wanted to stop me out. That's all external. It won't make you better. Think about, okay, what can I do? Why did I put my stop loss there? Let me build some statistics about where to put my stop loss. Should I put it below this high or low? Should I put it 0.25%, 0.5%, 1% away from my entry? How often does it get triggered, right? What's going to be my risk to reward ratio if it doesn't get triggered? What's my perfect position size? Like, statistics. And this is what many people don't want to do. And I almost say it every stream, but data will help you so much in trading. But when we talk about statistics as well in the industry, with 90% or whatever it is not becoming a winning trader, usually those are the people that also don't want to put the effort into actually developing a trading strategy, because it takes a lot of time, a lot of dedication. It takes months easily. But I prefer to spend a lot of time into developing a strategy based on statistics that gives me the emotional confidence to trade without looking at external factors, and becoming long-term profitable bit by bit, right? small win, 1 2 3 RR is my my target always. Small win, 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 loss, loss, win, loss, 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 win, 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 loss, win, you know, whatever that's gonna be, over 100 trades profitable. Then not building a plan and more having emotional input, trading without a set tools. Like I use these tools, like always using the same stuff. So not having a plan or a strategy. The one time I'm trading this, the other time that, and then VWAP, and then support resistance, and then ta, and then ta, and then ta. Or it's emotional. I enter, I revenge trade. Oh, price is moving, volume coming in. I have to enter, you know. It avoids all of that. If you have a solid plan where you know your statistics. And I will show you what that looks like, by the way. So I have the statistics of my older edition of my strategy, which is the one I used end of 2022, beginning of 2023, which is here. Now, these are just a few statistics because I have many Excel sheets with statistics, also about individual tools, about the VWAP, about pivots, about whatever, CVD, about you name it, right? A lot of stuff. But you can see that there's a lot of statistics going on here, no? And I record all the trades, the ones I take, the ones I don't take, because sometimes I can't take a trade. I'm with family, I'm doing something, right? I'm at Disneyland, who knows? But I still record them for the data. And then based on data, I know what's going on and I can trade based on data. I know what the most successful time is for the strat. I know which days performed. I know what happens with or without, you know, the trend. I know the best RR, and I have, of course, a lot more statistics than just this sheet. I know how long a trade usually takes for it to become a winner, right? I know how long it takes for trades to be a loser or a winner. Now, of course, you might think, hey, this data, there's not too much data. Don't forget, I have a lot of sheets. But I tend to tweak my strategy each couple of months, half a year to a year, because of the new data. So data, right? And it will help you develop your personal trading strategy. I so believe in it. If you want to record statistics. Discord only content here. Track statistics to counter emotions. One of the first videos I made for, it's the first one I made for Discord, 22nd of April, 2 months after the channel was live. I made this video, track statistics to counter emotions as well. So we took this high now as well, by the way. So at least some action. But yeah, now we gotta wait and see if we hold it or if we fall down again. Are we holding the white box, that is, or not? Like we've been testing, but each time it's like wiki. So let's see what happens. So declining volume for me, yeah, it's just declining volume. I don't look at the reason behind the volume. I started learning Elliott Waves 1 month ago. Love it. Very complex but doable. Yes, that's a nice summary, I suppose. Very complex, a lot of theory and rules, but it's a fun challenge to learn it. There's so much information in Elliott Waves. It's so useful as well to have a directional bias. Which it is for me as well. So yeah, good on you, Jared. Good on you. And if you want, make sure to check the free sources in the description. Those are the websites I used, especially the first one. These are just open websites, everyone. So Elite Currency here. This website is great. So like lots of examples, and also shows you common targets. Rare, less common, right? Diagonal. So you can see the colors here. If you read the beginning of this website with a bit of text here, then they explain what the colors mean. So yeah, it's very, very useful. I think this is by far one of the best websites on Elliott Waves. Easy. And it's in the description. It's the bit.ly and then Elliott Wave detailed. Do you do Elliott Waves for alts in gold? Yes. We 1 second. We do a weekly stream, feedback and Q&A, where I go over, sometimes I get questions about alts. Last time it was Joe, and I analyze them. And sometimes in a YouTube stream, there is one coming up where I do like a full altcoin stream for like 5 hours. So that one is still coming. And sometimes during live streams, but today it's mainly Bitcoin because I had a feeling price was going to move up. That's the reason why I wanted to go live as well, which we now did. We also took this high here. So now we can observe, see if support or resistance support area, if it holds or not. So, yeah, but not in detail. Usually it's high time frame. Any resolutions for 2024 or goals? Yes, definitely. So I think actually in the first stream this year, I also mentioned a few of the goals. I have, of course, work-related goals as well as private goals, but more like working related. It's divided by speaking, YouTube, educational business. So speaking, couple of global gigs. Of course, I have exact numbers, a certain amount of speaking gigs this year, basically. I want to do one international obstacle run. Of course, I have a trading goal, which is both a psychological goal as well as a dollar value. YouTube goal. I have a subscriber goal, of course, for YouTube. I don't really tend to look too much at the subscriber number, but I always like to have a goal because, you know, it motivates you to push, which is much higher than where we are now. I was like following a website for statistics about YouTube channels. Apparently it's the most known one. They said at the end of this year, my channel might be around 25K. So I was like, okay, I'm going to double it in my goal. But then I need to change a few things, like make shorts, quality ones that are like a summary of the scenarios and then the probabilities at the end. What was another thing that I was thinking about? Shorts and something else, but I'm working on that stuff. So I want to read 25 books. I already finished one. I got another one here as well that I'm reading at the moment, or started reading. I want to travel. I want to do a hut-to-hut hike with my dad in Austria, Switzerland, the Alps, somewhere. With the family, if my brothers want to come and other people, that's fine. Yeah. And then I have more goals, but they're actually in my notebook. They didn't fit in my planner. They're in my notebook here, because I also have a planner which I shared also in Discord for people that want it. Koen's Trading Planner. And if you open this, then what you will see... Oh, I actually opened it earlier. What you will see is this. This is the planner that I made and that I use. So it's, of course, it's a Word document, so you can write inside. The roles are your roles. What are you to other people or yourself, right? Or what do you do or identify yourself as? So for me, for example, fiance, soon to be husband, by the way. So for me, it's like my fiance, YouTube, my educational business, trading, financial stuff, personal development, and athlete. And then I have some goals here. sleep, study, sports, social, screens. I changed that now for habits, but you can use this. How much do you want to sleep? Do you want to learn something this week? What's your sport schedule, social plans? How do you cope with screens? Not your phone with you in the room, yes or no. Weekly priorities. This is yearly goals, right? Monthly goals, weekly goals. You just cut them into pieces, right? And then weekly priorities are these. So which of these 5 are your top 3 priorities? What do you want to finish? And then you have your days. And with your days, you're going to try to achieve the weekly goals, no? And then you have priorities per day, 1, 2, 3. And then you, per 6 a.m. till 10 p.m., you write down what's your plan. So I do this every morning. Every morning. So you can see it's a full week, right? So every morning I write stuff down to plan the day, and then we take it from there. So hopefully that's useful to you as well. You can just download it in YouTube if you want to. And if not, then not. So yeah, Kenny, that's it. What are your goals? You now moved. You now live in Portugal instead of Canada. So what is up? You want to be on the right direction, of course. Absolutely. Absolutely. But that is also, you don't know if you're going to be on the right direction, right? And this is important as a trader, where this is mindset stuff, where that's why I always have trading psychology in my title. We don't know if price is going to move in our direction or not. So if we enter a position, so I just showed you I trade based on statistics, right? I'm a statistical trader. So I know my win rate, I know my profitability, I know my best risk to reward ratio, I know all that stuff. But I don't know if the next trade I'm entering is going to be a winner or a loser. I just know my win rate over many trades. But I don't know if the individual trade is a win or a loss. The only thing I can control is the process. I can control the process of entering the position, preparing the position, checking all my checkboxes before entering the position, right? Sticking to the rules. And then I just enter. But I don't know if the trade will be a loss or a win. If it's a loss, it's a loss. If it's a win, it's a win, right? But based on statistics, I know my win rate, which usually is between 65-70%, right? Let's make it bigger, 60 to 75. I had 1 month 80%, but that was like I had 8 setups and 7 wins, 1 loss. So I mean, that it's on average I have 8 to 20 setups. I know because of data per month. And I don't know if I will have 3 losses or 5 losses in a row. I can also have 10 wins or 15 wins in a row. But then I might get another 10 losses. Of course, on average, that doesn't happen, right? Usually it just switches between. But yeah, you can have a win streak and you can have a losing streak. But I know based on data, this is, the data. I just don't know if the next trade is going to be a win or a loss. So we hope we're on the right direction because that's the goal. And based on probabilities, you should win more than you lose, but we never know if the next trade is a win or a loss. And if it is a loss, it's part of the plan. One does not have to change the plan just because you have a losing trade, right? Try to focus on 100 trades, not 1. Cool. Hey, Akoons, been following for a while. Watch your YouTube videos. I've been learning CVD better and better, but recently I'm stunned with the difference between perp and spot. Sorry, I don't use spot CVD, so that would be an easy answer. I only use aggregated and or the futures data, right? So I don't use spot CVD myself. I do know that people in the group are talking about spot, but I've never used spot CVD, and it's not one I am planning to use anytime soon. Yeah. Sunday trap. Well, possibly. So far, so good. What's up, Sean, by the way? Welcome. How you doing? Good to see you. Bitcoin fell from the top impulsively and we're going up corrective. Until 45385, still bearish. Yeah, that is, this is very much, this, by the way, impulsive is a quote unquote, because this is clearly a 3-wave structure, not a 5-wave move, which increases probabilities that if in a bearish scenario you're talking, right, we move to the downside, it's a corrective pattern, which therefore increases probabilities to at a later stage take the high. Unless you're going to form a very, very big diagonal, but that at the moment does not have the highest probabilities. And it's way too early to call. So the fact this is a 3-waver increases probabilities that sooner or later we take the high. This move to the upside here, right, can be both a 3-wave or a 5-waver. It's quite difficult to know exactly what this is because of the 4 5s on the, like, locally. But this move down here is a very nice 3-wave structure, which then again increases probabilities to take the highs sooner or later, right? Because it's a corrective move. Now, how we do that, we don't know. Oh, damn, I clicked on Atas again. How we then take up the high, if we do, you know, we don't know. It might be impulsive, might not be impulsive. But yeah, probabilities. I shortly switched, by the way, to the webcam because I accidentally clicked on Atas. So it's opening Atas, but then, you know, email. Oh, it's opening on my other screen. Is it? Yeah, okay, never mind. Can you give this website link here? I mean, it's in the description, but if you want it. Did you get married? Not yet, 9th of March. So it's getting close, 2 months. So almost there. Oh boy. You are just a day trader or you have another job? I don't have a job. So in that sense, I would say day trader, but I would call myself entrepreneur because I do have another business. So I have been an entrepreneur since 2018. So this is my 6th year now. And yeah, trading is just one of the things I do. But being a trader, only being a trader, and by the way, I started trading in January 2021. And then, of course, I had a learning curve. It was COVID. So, you know, I had a lot of time as well. I still had my own business at the time already. But I learned, that's where I started. And yeah, eventually, of course, going from losing to break even to winning. Also, the more statistics I recorded, the better it went. Created the whole strategy and stuff that now Diamond is using as well, and they also track statistics. And I think being a trader, only being a trader, depends on what type of trader, right? But only being a day trader can be quite boring. Many people trade to have income, to not sit behind the PC, if you know what I mean, to do other stuff, right? So the way I develop my strategy is that it also gives me the freedom to do other stuff. I don't want to sit behind the charts the whole day. I want to know, I know exactly what my setup looks like, right? I know exactly if it is forming or not. So I can set alarms as well in case I have an entry coming, right? And then when I enter, I know exactly how to manage my trade. I know my take profit. I know my stop loss. I don't care if it's a loss or a win because I know my statistics. I know exactly on a long, you know, on a lot of data, what's my win rate, all that stuff. So I can do other stuff, which also means other business related stuff. So before I got into trading, I already had my own business. And then I got into trading as well, which just is an extra. I really enjoy it. It's like playing a game. But the strat I developed myself is based on my lifestyle. What do I want. If you're a scalper, you're probably sitting behind the PC the whole day, but you might enjoy it. You know, it fits your lifestyle, fits your way of trading, fits your psychology, fits your risk appetite, fits just your life. Yeah, you as a person is reflected. Your personality is reflected in the strategy. That's what I usually say as well in Diamond is a strategy is very, very personal. And your personality is reflected in the strategy because you're going to develop a strategy, unless you trade mine, but if you develop a strategy, you're developing it for, you know, who you want to be as well. And it will include a lot of your personal characteristics, your patience, your risk, feelings. And yeah, my way of trading gives me more than enough freedom. So I'm a global keynote speaker. So that's one thing, which is the reason that sometimes I'm in another country as well. But I prepare you guys. If I have to go, I always say on YouTube, like, yo, I got to move. So the content schedule will change a bit. So I'm a global keynote speaker. Many of my gigs are in the Netherlands, but occasionally, as the word global shows, I speak in other countries as well. I have an educational business in the gaming and esports industry, which is my real background for 18 years now, as we are now living in 2024. And not the business, but I've been involved with the industry for 18 years. And I am a board member of the Global Esports Federation. Yep. It hit the 886 now from 44.5. Ah, yeah, and now we took the high. So you inspire me, and I'm sure. Yeah, Kenny, what's up? Goals here. Pass a funding challenge. Surf again after the rehab. I like to hear that as well. Man, I love surfing, but in Portugal, sunshine and waves. Waves can be massive in Portugal as well. Moved to my condo in March. Fluent Portuguese. These are some. Maybe meet a nice European woman. Now we talking. I bet there's many nice European women. I don't know. I've never actually been to Portugal. So, hey, but maybe there's a nice Latina walking around. Maybe there is someone here. I don't know. Just get in touch with Kenny, everyone. We go from a trading channel to Tinder. I put two pictures on the screen or one picture on the screen and we just say yes, no. We swipe. Any advice for a starter? I'm trying to learn critical analysis, risk management. Do you recommend any books? Yes. I always love this question. What helped you learn? Very nice question, Ollie. I always love explaining this. So for starters, don't put your savings into your account. Put like a very low amount in, okay? Not much. That's no financial advice, but very, very recommended. As the probabilities are very low, you're going to be any sort of profitable long term. Most often you'll lose. So you can better pay low educational fees than high educational fees. So put $100 in, $50, $10, you know, whatever, because it's about the art of trading. The money comes later. What you have to focus on first, and that's what I mentioned earlier, is you got to explore. Try all the tools, build statistics, combine the tools, build statistics, tweak the strategy, build more statistics, right? And then you start trading based on data, statistics, and a solid plan. It will take a couple of months. You just started, you know, you might feel like you got to be part of the market. You might not have your emotions fully under control, potentially, right? It's the question sometimes at the beginning, overconfidence or, you know, all that stuff plays a role. But don't focus on trading yet. Focus on building your plan, which starts with using the tools. Learn the tools, find which ones you prefer, your favorite ones, and then build statistics on those. How does price react when it hits? You know, and if you would trade this particular tool, statistics on the stop loss, and then eventually you combine things. Now, regarding books, I always enjoy that question because I definitely have recommendations. Let me get books. Okay. These are trading related. I also like business and personal development books, but these are the trading related ones. So let's start with the first trading book I ever bought, which is, oh, can you see it on the webcam? You can full screen it, right? So then we keep an eye on what the chart does as well. Market Wizards, Jack D. Swager. You can see I've read this one twice. Love the book. This is a book where you learn more about some of the best traders in the world. What's their story? Some of them lost, eventually won, but based on an interview type of style, you learn about their lives and how they become as successful as they eventually were. And of course, there's more than one edition, Unknown Market Wizards and the New Market Wizards as well. So those are the three I have. You also have one about institutional stuff, but that's not for me. Let's go to Trading Psychology. Now, this one is most famous. However, there is another one I recommend more, but this is the one many people know about, Trading in the Zone, right? It's a very well-known book, but in my honest opinion, actually not really that great. The first half is decent. The second half, I don't know. It's from this author, because it's not on the front of the book. So there you go. Mark Douglas. Just talks about trading psychology. I think it's an asset, right? It's a nice to have. But if you talk to me, this is a must have. By far, not even close to Trading in the Zone, this one is so much better. So much better. The Mental Game of Trading by Jared Tendler. This book actually gives you a strategy to work on your psychology. Instead of just reading about what you should do and shouldn't do, which is like, you actually get a plan and a strategy on how to develop your mental game of trading, which explains the name of the book, right? I am not affiliate. I don't even have an affiliate link of the book. I always recommend the book. I just hope Jared one day is going to pop in when we have a lot of people and he's like, hey, cool. But mate, this book is great, and as you can see, I worked on it as well, right? And I use this book and the strategy to work on my mental game as well. Much better than Trading in the Zone. Start with that one. Buy Trading in the Zone if you want. Another one that I can recommend is Best Loser Wins. I gotta say, there's a lot of repetition in the book, which can be a bit tiring sometimes, but it's a nice book. But if you want to have the content of this book, basically everything in video content, the author of this book has actually spoke at a conference where he literally explained the whole book, but then not reading it, just in video content, which is this video here. 1 second. So of course he speaks, but the most important elements of the book are all covered in the video series of the conference, the place where he was speaking. It's loading. 1 second. So this one, Trading Psychology, Why Normal Doesn't Make Money. And then you have Tom Hougaard speaking, which is this Mr. over here, this guy. He is the author of Best Loser Wins. It's a fun book, by the way. I mean, I recommend supporting the author. But if you want the content for free, he literally speaks about this in the. And this is part 1. I don't know. There's 7 parts, or I watched them all as well. Part 2. I don't know. There's many. So yeah, this guy Tom Hougaard, Trading Psychology: Why Normal Doesn't Make Money, part number 1. Recommended. And this is just interesting. Reminiscence of a stock operator, which mainly teaches you about, I suppose, if you make money, manage your money well. Yeah. If you make money, don't just randomly spend it. Of course, you learn a lot of stuff, right? But eventually, the success of the trader in this book became his downfall. Yeah. Regarding business books, Millionaire Fast Lane, Unscripted, and Unscripted, The Great Rat Race. Start with the Millionaire Fast Lane, but I gave it to a friend of mine, so it's not actually home. The second is Unscripted, MJ DeMarco. He's my favorite author, this guy. Life, Liberty, and the Pursuit of Entrepreneurship. I like his no bullshit type of writing. It's very direct, which I like. And then currently, oops, microphone hit. The Great Rat Race Escape. Entrepreneurship books about building your company, building a company, getting out of the rat race. So yeah, there you go. And I have many more, but yeah, you know, just a few that would be good for you, I suppose. Where were we? 47, 48, then we go down. Has potential, yeah. 40k, 50-ish k area. Bit Phantom, what's up? How you doing? Rigoberto Rosales, bonk, ladies. Can Bitcoin touch 45k today? Well, we don't know. It can, but it also can't, right? So what is important here is holding the white box. We had a bit of a retest here, so the first candle held it. Of course, the fact that we took this high increases probabilities to take the next, but we got to remain above this this box here. What's CVD doing? That's some bullish. Who wrote about this? Someone in chat said 3 min. Oku, yes, correct. On blue. This has now played out though, because price moved up. But we do have interesting resistance around 45k. So it's an area to watch. But it's still very, very, very rangy. So another reason I went live is because I had a feeling we would get a move here. So that's the reason I went live here. So we got to move up, broke above the box now, first candle holding as support. But we want to see then continuation, take the next high, move to the box here, observe the reaction. So yeah, remember me? Yes. There were so many people during that 500 viewer live stream, including yourself. Sakin Soy, Sunday night, end of the weekly dump incoming. End of weekly dump incoming. That can be, you can read that twofold. Either you get a end of the week dump, or it is the end of the weekly dump and you move up. But it's all probabilities, no certainties. We can't speak in certainties as well because we don't know what happens. Portugal, my land, there you go. Name lives in Portugal. Toga Power. Tuga Power. I don't know what the Tuga is. Sartak Agawal, where to start building an own strategy? Well, it all starts with using your tools. And then, create an Excel sheet or something to record statistics. Look, I don't really tend to do this also in my videos, but you can check out the memberships if you want help with developing your strategy, because that is what we do in Diamond as well. Besides people using mine and also tracking statistics on mine, and we are now all together developing the strategy further, which is great. Even further than it already is, and some people have developed their own, and so, but that is what we do there. But if you don't want to do that, then of course, make your own Excel sheet and record statistics. I have Excel sheets and everything in there, so just templates. But yeah. Hi Kunz, how are you? Abdul Karim Abunaji, what's up? These days trading Bitcoin sucks, at least for me. What's your advice to deal with such days? Sorry that the couple of days sucked, of course. That's never a good thing. I would probably look at it for like twofold. First, check your trades. Hopefully you journal them, which is important. Were all the trades taken with the same entry requirements, right? Did you take the same trade just at a different moment, or were all the trades different? Did you enter because of support resistance and then the VWAP and then the volume profile and then this and that? Or did you have constantly one reason for entering? The reason why that is important is because of a strategy perspective, right? That if you entered for the same reasons all the time, then you might want to look at your strategy, record some data about these trades, look at your strategy, maybe tweak something, edit something, look back if it happened more often. If you, however, trade with every trade that you took having different entry requirements, it becomes very difficult to reflect on your trading. So, and this of course has to do with building a strategy as well. Sorry. A second thing is if you have different, so I don't know, of course, your way of trading or strategy, but if it's Elliott Wave related, if you don't really know what's going on, just enjoy some time off, because there will always be a next scenario or setup or certain waves where you realize, hey, now I know what's going on. Right now the probabilities are high for me, so now I enter again. We don't have to trade every move on the chart. We have to trade what fits our plan and strategy, right? And we don't have to catch nice. We can easily catch 40% of the move, or 50%, or even 20%. You know, it depends on how big the move is. You don't have to catch the low and the high. We are not in this market to share our profit screenshots on Twitter, like, you know, some quote-unquote mentors like to do. Oh, look at me, you know, snipe the low, 100,000%, 200x leverage. Bullshit. You immediately know where not to go. We are here to trade consistently, profitable, step by step, with a strategy which is built around risk management as well. But you first need a strat, and then second, if you lose a couple of times, reflect on the losses to maybe tweak the strategy, and have a few days off. If you notice, hey, I have no idea what's going on, it's no problem to take a break, right? I always say in my videos as well, there's like, we on this channel, we don't FOMO, we don't YOLO, we don't catch knives unless it's part of your plan. Usually people need to use order flow in order to catch knives with a certain level of confidence because of what they see in the order flow, right? But many people don't use order flow. So that's why generally catching knives is not a great idea. Which for myself, it's not. I know I'm not good in catching knives. So I build a strategy to never catch knives because I suck at that. I had many losses in the past. Not using order flow, by the way. But I had my period where I tried to catch the low or the high, you know. And then I can see my little percentage screenshot. Oh, look at my entry. You know, no one cares. Everyone is in the market themselves for their own sake. Which is also why in Discord, the moment I see someone sharing a profit screenshot, I immediately remove it. But people know in the group as well, no one actually shares this stuff because they know it based on you know, it doesn't help anyone what you're trying to gain by sharing it. That people are proud or you're showing off or you want compliments. Like, no one cares. Everyone is in the market for themselves. By all means, if you want to share something, then share the reasons why you entered so we can actually learn something. Yeah, always an interesting topic. The moment I see people posting like their screenshots online, I always immediately skip next. Wrote all the books down. That's nice, Ollie. Yeah, some great books. Like, I would probably start from a trader's perspective. Oh, by the way, how can I forget this? There's, of course, one book that I lol, the Elliott Wave Principle, in case you want to learn Elliott Waves. It's probably, you know, it's regarded the book for Elliott Waves. So that's the only technical book I have. But if you want to learn Elliott Waves, I actually wouldn't start with the book. I'd probably start with the links I showed earlier and that are in the description. And I would start with the Market Wizard books and with the Mental Game of Trading book to work on your mental game, right? So those would probably be the ones I would start with. I took long mask soon time. Warner kept, unfortunately, I understand you took a long, but I don't know what you mean with this here. Of course, stick to your plan, mate. That's most important. So I wish you the best with your trade, as that is all we can do, of course. Tuga. Oh, I see. Is that a thing name? Is that a thing? Tuga Power? Interesting. I've never heard that. Chin Babu from India. Welcome. How you doing? Hasta la vista, Barbie. Welcome back again. Hope you're doing great. Where do you get your white boxes from? I mean, these are just support resistance levels. These two white ones here. Just identified on the chart as quite easily we can see there's important resistance here, right? Which could flip into support if we can now manage to get above the value area high that moved as well, by the way. That's important. And then at the low, you can see resistance support. But my target boxes, which if I zoom out, are all the colored ones, right? There's many. These are made wait. By doing this, cleaning up the charts. So I would recommend watching this video. It's 10 months, you know, from 10 months ago. But this is how I make my target boxes. And the title I gave is how to go from a messy chart to a structured chart, right? A clean chart, because I like a clean chart. And the boxes, important support and resistance areas for me, give me a very clean perspective of the chart, which is what I like. So I can recommend checking that one out. Does Bitcoin USDT give upside rally? I mean, it's weekend, usually not the time to start wave threes. We are still in a very much range bound structure. It's very difficult to count what happens here as well. So yeah, we have a bit of a move up, but we want to see support and it moving above the value area high here, of course. So look, this has a higher probability of being a three-wave structure, increasing probabilities to take the high, but it doesn't mean we can't continue ranging here for a longer period of time. This move down here also looks like a three-wave structure, increasing probabilities to take the high sooner or later. But if we look at scenarios, we have a move down here. And the only way to, and this is stuff I said in the analysis part earlier, by the way, for people joining late, but the only way you can continue moving up is in a WXY where you don't take the low of W. If you would have an impulse up here and you look for a corrective structure, then you want to see at least for a wave 2, right? Not a wave B, because a triangle can be a wave B, but not a wave 2. 3 wave down here. Okay, this can be a W, then you can have an X, and then you look for a Y, which would then mean either a move down in a flat, because W is a zigzag, Y can't be a zigzag, so you're going to be looking for a flat, or a triangle in wave Y, but that is very unlikely. So then you're going to be looking for a flat and at least another low. So that is this, by the way. Oh no, wait, this one, sorry. W, X, and then you're going to be looking for a wave Y. In a flat, you're going to be looking for an ABC, but you want to take these highs preferably. We didn't hit the 0.9, that would be a minimum at 44.5, and then a C to the downside. So where's the bullish scenario? If you're going to be looking for A or 1, 2, B, and then up, it's difficult to have this as the end of 2 or B. But if the end is somewhere here, it has to be in a WXY scenario. But it's not yet great. I mean, probabilities here locally, right? It's very difficult to identify anything here bullish, impulsive. That is why we're live, because we maybe see a little bit of a move, but we want to see continuation. Doesn't really we're in a ranging environment, and basically what I'm saying is in most of the corrective structures you would preferably see another move to the lower end of the range. We have a wick in the wave 2 target area, okay, but if this would be your low and you're going to be looking for a move to the upside, then your question is, from the low here, can we count an impulse diagonal or a double 1, 2? Well, an impulse is a problem. Definitely not an impulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No overlap between 1 and 4. Lots of overlap. Okay, diagonal. Can we count in diagonal from this low? Diagonal can be zigzags all the way, or 5, 3, 5, 3, 5. Right? Impulse, zigzag, impulse, zigzag, impulse. Now, based on the structure we have here, right? ABC, could it be a zigzag? Yeah. You can't do 5, 3, 5 because we are looking for zigzags. If you are looking for a diagonal like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, now that's not possible. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Could that be a diagonal? You might think yes. However, this is then a flat in 2, not allowed. So that doesn't work. So that means we then have over here potentially a 1. That can work because you have an ABC where B is a flat internally in wave 1, right? That is allowed. So wave 1 now is a zigzag. 5, 3, 5. Wave B and a zigzag can be any structure, like for example a flat. So then this has to be your 1. This has to be your 2, because now we took the high. So now you're going to be working on a 3, which then has to be a zigzag again. So you need another 5, 3, and then a 5 for 3, before a 4 and a 5. But diagonals are very difficult to count if you don't yet have wave 4 in at least, right? So we are maybe working on 3, but as long as we don't even have a finished 3 and 4, it's very difficult to think about a diagonal, right? And then we have double 1, 2s or triple 1s. Now 1, 2s need to be 5, 3, 5, 3, 5, 3, where the 3 wave structure, which means the wave 2, so you have a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 up. Commonly a little bit of a diagonal structure. The main difference is that the wave 2s don't have to be zigzags. They commonly are, but they don't have to. They can be a flat WXY. As long as it's not a triangle, it can be anything, right? But that means that from this low, we then have to count a wave 1. This doesn't look like a nice impulse, right? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. But it's weekend. You know, does it really start an impulse? Maybe. 1, 2, that's a long 2. Second 1, 2, that's a short 2. And then a very long third wave 1. Arguably your 2 is then in. Or you're going to have a flat. But you don't want to see this low taken. But also here, I prefer to wait for more price action. The second pivot would be this low. Right? WXY, right? Like, what happens from this low to the upside? Well, we can ask the same question. Impulse, diagonal, double 1, 2. Impulse, lots of overlap. There's no impulse here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? There's a lot of overlap. If this is your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, overlap between 4 and 1, not allowed. Okay, diagonals. Well, in a diagonal, we then have to look for also a 5 wave structure. And then this is your diagonal. But you can see it's expanding, right? Also wave 3 is longer than 1. I'm not sure if wave 5 is longer than 3 actually. Not than this pivot, but we could have a flat here. Oh wait, that's not allowed in a diagonal, so never mind. So that one is shorter, so that really doesn't really make sense. In a diagonal, 2 and 4 of course have to be a zigzag, so this has to be a high of 3. You can't have a flat in wave 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is not allowed, right? So you need to have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. But 5 is shorter than 3. 3 is longer than 1. Now, if you think about the new rules of a contracting diagonal, which does not help the probabilities of a diagonal, right? But wave 3 is allowed to be longer than 1 as long as wave 5 is then shorter as 3, which then would be the case here, right? However, it's still low probabilities that you get an impulse or a diagonal where wave 3 is longer than 1 and 5 shorter than 3. Because usually wave 3 doesn't really like to go above or longer than 1. It can happen. I think the most recent example, funny enough, is actually here. It just doesn't happen often. So something to take into account as well, if we think about a potential diagonal. Arguably, diagonal here would be a 5, 3, 5, 3, 5. 5 move down, 5 down, 5. But the last move up is a 3 wavy. Yeah, so it's not great. And then double 1, 2 or triple 1, 2. 5, 5. Well, then probably you want to have 5 correction, 5 correction, 5. But if this is your second wave 2, it's very, very long in time compared to your first wave 2. While the first 1, 2 is the highest degree Elliott Wave 1, 2, right? So you know what so you see what I mean with the range here. At the moment, I'm not yet convinced. I want more info. You know, it's a pain to count this in a lot of detail, all the waves, you know. So. But I did, based on the local price action and the point of control holding in the range. That's also a reason why I went live, because I had a feeling price was going to move to the upside. That's not what we had, but we have the value area high moving up as well. We are now above the wide resistance. Okay, that's nice, but we want to see it hold. No? So we want to see some proof of support, whatever that, of course, is for you. So, yeah. The reason I refresh is just to see the most recent candle. You can see yellow moves up, but the candle is red. So there's more buying than selling going on in this 3-minute candle. But it's red, which is interesting, right? That would be if it closes red. Oh, things changed already. Oh, no, wait. If it closes red, it's a bearish in candle CVD. But it's a bit green, so we'll see. We'll see. Oh, 1 second, by the way. Give me one moment here. As my fiance is writing something here. Sometimes I'm not sure if I open WhatsApp, on which screen it appears. Better be careful sometimes. So, what's your view on the BTC ETF? A lot of people have mixed emotions. I like the question, but I'm not really involved also with the fundamentals of Bitcoin. For me, it's just another asset. So I don't really have an opinion per se, I suppose. I don't mind if it passes. I don't mind if it doesn't pass. What would my view, my ideal scenario would be that the ETF is going to cause a lot of greed. Look, this is from a psychology point of view, right? What I would love to see with that ETF that, you know, people are waiting for, if it gets passed or not, I mean, I don't know. But what I would love to see anyway is more, eventually I would be looking for, also from an Elliott Wave perspective, as mentioned, probabilities are higher to eventually take this low or high. Sorry, this high. Even if you move down lower, still looking to look for higher prices. But what I would love to see with the ETF, whatever and whenever, is a move to the upside, make people really greedy, make them FOMO, right? Maybe move above the psychological level of 50K, go to 53, 54, whatever, and then get a massive retracement down. That is what I will be looking for. That is what I would love to see. I don't care if it passes or not, but that is on the chart what I would be looking for. If it passes and price moves up and people YOLO into it, they become greedy, they're going to be looking for all-time highs. Oh, maybe a price above 50K, like, oh shit, oh, I'm going to miss out. Oh yeah. And then just take it all down, right? First, make people buy, creating the liquidity to then dump. That would be my thought around the ETF. Can also work the other way around, but I would prefer upside because the bigger trend is to the upside. So of course, price can dump, make people fearful, and then move back up, right? So that people miss what happens after. But based on the trend, I would prefer seeing a move up first, right? Because we are so good in making higher lows without big retracements, to create more greed, more FOMO, more YOLO, and then get a big retracement to the downside. That would be something that I will keep my eye open for, something like this. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Does BTC USDT moves upside? No one knows, my friend. So I already replied to you. If you are looking for people that know exactly what's happening, you need to go to like this person that has a glass ball, you know, and then you pay them $10 and you maybe see in the future, which I also don't believe, by the way. No one knows. What you need to do is create a planned strategy and trade probabilities. Because we don't know if price moves up or down, but what we do know is that we can trade probabilities to the up or the downside, which is based on statistics and a process that only you can control based on your plan. And based on 100 trades and data, you know your win rate, your stop loss, your everything, if you track the data. Can price move up? Yeah, of course. We are now above the support resistance here. We are still below this value area high though. But yeah, of course. But no one here knows. No one knows, right? If it goes up or down. You need to, if you want to enter here and you look for a move up, what are your entry requirements? Why would you enter along here? Do you have a good reason, right, to enter? Is it a candlestick pattern, RSI, CVD? Maybe some yellow or red dot, something else, right? That's what you need to identify, which is the same like answer for anyone that asks these type of questions. Is no one knows what's going to happen. You're at the wrong channel. No channel on YouTube even can tell you what's going to happen next. What you need to do is develop a strategy and put some time in developing one. Now, if you have proof of support here and you're like, yeah, you know, I like what I see. We are above the white box. At least that's for me, you know, whatever you have here. And maybe you look for something additional, candlestick patterns, right? As mentioned. Oh yeah, maybe it's interesting, but hey, we are below the value area high still, right? possibly grabbing the liquidity and move down, and that could be a reason for a short, but that depends on your strategy. Now, all I can say, right, is that my position has been taken far in advance of this move. So I don't care what happens locally, right, because my stop loss is at break even. But I stuck to my plan and my strategy, which resulted in a break-even stop loss. Now, if you have a plan and a strategy and you see what you want to see, you can enter a long or a short, but it depends on your plan. And usually these type of questions result in or show you don't have a plan. Is this pump real or will... well, there you go. Or will be dump? What do you think? From an Elliott Wave point of view, right? Well, I kind of just explained it's difficult to count impulses here to the upside, right? So from an Elliott Wave point of view, I wouldn't be surprised if we would eventually move to the lower side of this range at least once more and then see what happens, because it's difficult to count anything impulsive here. But I like to wait for more information and let the chart give me more clarity. We are now above the white box. We are not below the box. We are also still above the point of control, which for me is an important level. Losing this, and yeah, I can see price moving to the lower end. But currently, we're at the top of the white box. So there's for me no reason to yet think, Taking a fib from the high over here to the low. Let's see if the 886 is already hit or not. Not yet. If price hits the 886, what it does like to do is move to the golden pocket. But it's difficult to count any of these structures here locally very bullish. We have, I think, the bearish CVD here got invalidated, so we can remove this. We have the bullish CVD here that played out because price took the high now. This one already played out as well. So very locally here, neutral game now, right? CVD wise. We have the bigger bullish CVD here, but it's with a big wick. So it's not preferred, but I still keep it on the chart so that I remember. And do we have any bearish CVDs here with the high? I don't think so. Nope. On the 3 minutes, bit of bearish CVD here on the 3 minute, lower high, higher high on yellow. Might soon already play out though if price takes this low here. So yeah. That's from an Elliott Wave's point of view. It's quite difficult to count this range in a lot of detail. So that is why what I like to do is keep an eye on, do I see an impulse, diagonal, or double 1-2? And if it's very difficult to identify these structures, the probabilities would naturally be higher to see a rotation. But in order for that to happen, I do like to see a change in market structure, losing the point of control, losing the white box, seeing a bit of a move down, move back up, and maybe bearish CVD or bearish RSI or bearish stochastic or whatever you like to use. That depends on you. I have my plan, of course. What's up, Polar Bear Man? How you doing, man? Welcome. From your Elliott Wave, what is with the highest probability in current small range? From a Wyckoff, it looks like a lot like reaccumulation. I'm not too familiar with Wyckoff, but I just kind of explained, I suppose, the Elliott Wave perspective here locally here. I think it's gonna dump soon, possibly. I often wipe my chart after a win. I know the market wants it back. Yeah, like if you have a couple of wins, it's good to also take a break, right? Sometimes, or just wipe the chart, relax, walk around. Never feel invincible. The chart can can be a pain in the ass sometimes. You're in a winning streak, might get overconfident, and then slight bearish dip, prop to go around 44,150. Little order block there is below the box, so you do have to get back up then if that happens. What's up, Tristan? Expected Friday stock market to go up into fill short positions while executing rally over the weekend, and then retrace to 40 before continuing up since the daily close above 43,800 monthly level. And then a retrace to 40. 47 to 40. I would like even deeper. If we would continue up, 47, so 46.1 to 52.2 is a wave 5 target. Then a retrace to below 40 would be something that I would prefer to see. And then in a bullish scenario you go back up. Yeah. Got a question. Hedging plus DCA versus stop loss. What do you think? Stop loss. But this depends on your way of trading. For me, it's stop loss. Like DCA is, if you are a day trader, doesn't really make sense, of course. But if you are a long-term investor or you're in it for maybe like, I don't know, 20, 30 years, like very long term, then DCA could make sense as long as you have a diversified portfolio. No financial advice here, but you know, putting all your eggs in one basket can either go very right or incredibly wrong. So for me, I'm a day trader primarily. So for me, stop loss is very important because I want to manage my risk. And if I enter a position, I know where I'm wrong. That's where I want to get out. So that's my personal choice, but maybe others have other choices here. So DCA, probably more swing trading or investing, I suppose. And that's also where hedging then comes in, right? If you are at a very important resistance area, hedging can be important. And if price continues, you need to know again where you're wrong and let price run. Good luck, Polar Bearman. Good luck, good luck. Wouldn't rare structures be present in high emotional markets? I don't really, I just focus on Elliott waves and what the probabilities are from an Elliott waves perspective. So I guess around the ETF there's emotion, but there's of course always emotion because that is why people buy or sell usually in the marketplace. So rare structures or common structures for me are not related to emotions, but for example trend. So in a very strong bullish or bearish trend, you can see for example more running flats, where wave C does not take the low or the high of wave A because of the strength of the trend and the absorption that is going on in that trend. It's still low probability, but it's more common than rare in a strong trend, for example. So I am more someone that looks at the trend, I suppose, than emotion in that sense. But I do like Elliott waves because it is connected to psychology and therefore also emotion. So, but they're never very likely. They always remain low probability unless the other things fail. What about CVD? What's the question, Dawa? I'm falling behind here. So CVD for me is, I love CVD. Dasa Gaming, what's up? How are you doing? Crypto sale looks like working ABC, target 45 or 500. Yeah, that's also where we have a resistance area here. Look, even if we are not like counting this in a lot of detail, what we do know is this has a higher probability of being a 3-wave compared to a 5-wave, because in a 5-wave you have a truncated 5, which is very, very rare. The move up can both be a 5-wave or a 3-wave structure. So there's always the potential for impulsivity in another move up. This move down looks more like an ABC, increasing probabilities that this high sooner or later will be taken. Same here, by the way. sooner or high, this one being taken because of the three-wave nature of the move down. And in the end, it's all probabilities. But if you see a three-wave structure coming off a high or a low, the probabilities generally are higher to then take the high or low at a later stage. And this is so the move up here is difficult to identify as a 3 or 5, but this is quite a clear 3. This is also quite a clear 3, increasing the probabilities to take these highs sooner or later. Right, and that's from an Elliott Wave point of view. Doesn't mean we can't go down in the meantime, but that depends on how you then, what's your trading plan and how will you trade Elliott Waves, or how do you trade anything else. And locally, this here, it doesn't make too much sense to try and count this in a lot of detail because of the complex nature of what is happening here. So I prefer to wait for a breakout, which is why I went live here, because I noticed, like, some volume and stuff, like, we could get a push up here. We are arranging here for a long time. Point of control is holding as well. We still have the bullish CVDs that didn't play out but now have. So we could see a bit of continuation and a breakout, which is a nice moment to go live as well. Nikhil Patil, what's up? I don't know what big time is. What do you think about market cipher B? Waste of money. Warner kept. ETH also look short. I haven't actually checked ETH. I'm not really too involved with altcoins and that sort of stuff. So generally, I stick with Bitcoin. I don't really have low time frame counts on other altcoins, mainly high time frame stuff. By the way, to go in more detail, Tortuga, by the way, for me, market cipher B or any of those indicators is very much a waste of money. The one that gets rich is the one that sells the stuff. Because the problem with these indicators is you still need a plan around the indicator, which you have to develop yourself. It's not as simple as buying red or green and you become profitable, right? You still need to combine all sorts of elements and, that wave is higher or lower. And if only it was that easy, we would have had a lot more profitable people. So it's still about creating a strategy, which then leads me to say that you can better create a strategy, or at least first try to create a strategy with tools that are free and public, like the TradingView tools, or Atas for crypto is free as well if you like to test order flow and stuff. Then going into paid softwares or paid indicators. And I think Market Cipher has a very, the guy that sells it, he has done he's great in marketing. I would not recommend it. I would recommend using the tools here and instead work on developing your strategy, because buying such a tool will, people try, of course, to skip the process of becoming profitable. Like buying an indicator with a green and a red dot is not going to make you a successful trader. A strategy is, unless you buy it with a strategy in mind or a whole developed, strategy that you have with statistics and everything. Sorry. So, I don't recommend. Yeah. It's a good question, Tortuga, and I bet some people will have market cipher B or they are using it. Some people will win, some people will lose. I think it's a good question and it's important to address, because there's a lot of marketing in the industry, right? There's a lot of people selling their indicator and things, but I can only recommend to start with the free stuff and put time in developing a strategy or a plan. Because many people that usually buy this type of stuff are looking for a shortcut, but there's no shortcut to becoming a consistently profitable trader. Whatever tool you will buy, you still need to go through the whole process of developing a plan yourself as well, which then comes back to statistics, tools, combination of tools, and then eventually know where to put your stops and all that stuff. And it's just a whole process. The process is the same, but now you first spend hundreds of dollars and then start the process instead of using the free stuff first, which is more than enough. There's no shortcuts in this industry. If there were, then it would be a lot easier. It's a lot of hard work. I remember I like one of my old trading friends. He always said it's like becoming a doctor. You have to study for years usually before you really get there. It's usually not like 1 day, 1 week magic to be consistently profitable. It will take a while, and it depends on the time, the dedication, mentors or not. I would prefer someone to spend money for market cipher into getting a mentor somewhere, whoever that is, right? I don't care if you're interested in Elliott Waves and you come join us or you go to anyone else, but first start yourself for free, read books, study, and then maybe later get a mentor to teach you stuff, but not trying to shortcut the process, because there's no shortcut. It's hard work. And I don't think it's a business, right? Trading is a business. You become an entrepreneur if you are a consistently profitable trader, where you have your losses, your wins, your management, your process. It's a business. Things are early and good here. The coffee is brewing. Taking my mother to church in a bit. Sounds like a nice Sunday ahead, Polar Bearman. Enjoy. Nice that you bring your mother along as well. What did I miss? Bitcoin hitting the resistance line again? It's just ranging on top of the support resistance box here now at the moment. Confluence, exactly, Tristan. I love that word. Thanks for the chat. Great listening to you. Learning, and these are great examples of the rules and invalidation. Glad I found your stream this morning. Pleasure, my friend. Also probably someone from America, if it's morning. Good to have you here, man. Do you have a position right now? Yes. Probably a long he took in October. I'm not a swing trader. I'm a day trader. I took a position yesterday, and I'm still in that one. Hasta la vista, Babe. I can't an impulse at the low from January 3rd, but it is possible. Yeah, it's difficult, but there's that possibility that you have a double 4-5 in this last bit. It's just a bit confusing price action to go in detail, but there's the possibility here, because for an ABC, it's also like if this is it's a bit if this is then your A, right? A, B, C. Your C is very long compared to like 2 candles A, so that's why there's the potential this is a 3 waver, but also a 5 waver. So I consider both, and I keep both in mind here at the moment, just in case. Okay. Don't do altcoins at the moment. Also soon have to go. I think you can add a knockoff market cipher free in TradingView. Yes, that is correct as well, SB. Maybe we should flip the chart, see if something changes. Oh, I've actually never done that, reversing the chart. I know some people do it to avoid the bias or potential bias they have, but generally I'm a very neutral trader. My strategy is not really related to, it's just whenever I see the entry requirements, I enter. So either long or short. I know market size is just tool. Bitcoin risk 40% crash are the highest ones of 2 risks. If the Bitcoin price rises to old record 60-70K in the coming weeks due to approval of spot Bitcoin, a correction of as much as 40% may follow, says Hayes. No idea who Hayes is. Harry Mens. Are you Dutch by any chance? I mean, Might be Harry Wentz. I think he has a like this TV show, no? But yeah, I mean, I don't know who Hayes is, but sounds like you might be a fundamental trader. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. We, of course, don't know what happens. Moving to 60, 70K in a few weeks sounds very impressive to me. Usually before the halving, not after the halving. How do stop limits work when shorting? For example, enter at 100, stop loss. Does the order sell? Stop limits. Yeah, so if you want to short, for example, but you don't want to enter here, you need more proof of whatever, and you want to enter lower, you can put in a stop limit, yes. So you need to put the trigger above your limit order so that first the trigger hits, then your short gets entered, but make sure the trigger is not on your entry because you're very likely to then miss the entry. So the trigger should be a little bit above the short limit, and then when it triggers, your short gets entered, and then of course you have your hopefully stop loss and TP and stuff in place. But that is how it works. So enter at 100, stop loss at 110, so that's the normal position. Limit at 115. Where's the trigger? For example, enter 100, limit at 115. Does the order sell sit at 115 or is it instantly filled because it's higher than price? You can't put a limit. You can put a limit short above price, yes. You can, and you need to wait for it to hit. If you're waiting for a short higher up, you can just put a limit, yes. But if you talk about a stop limit, you can also short price when price is like, you can put an order below price without it immediately getting triggered by using a stop limit. But you need to put the trigger right. Remember trying to show you on questions 2, Koen. Is that the one that you removed or not? Oh, Aviatura, I have to reply. Oh, this one. Yes. But, what's this? A, B, C, D, E. You can't have a WXY in, or at least low probabilities, you have a WXY in a B. But this is one of the triangles to keep an eye on, yeah. But this B, E, oh yeah, and then you need a 1-2 continuation. So my triangle is a little different. But I've replied, yes, I think they might play out. Or expanding flat now to the exit to then drop to 42K. Yeah, we're still at, still at resistance, the value area high here as well. Hit 46K or 41K? That question is very much related to the local price action. It's difficult to count at the moment a lot of bullish structures in here. But a move to the downside of the range, 43K for example, is not 41, right? You need to take the low. And there's still the potential of a 1-2 continuation, even though 2 will be very long. So it also depends on the time frame we're looking at, really. Medium time frame wise, higher probability this is a 3-wave, so sooner or later taking the high. The question is, do you first come down and then up? So from a medium time frame perspective, still looking for this high to be taken at a given moment. Also, this looks like a 3-waver, increasing probabilities to take this high at a given moment. But if it does, right, will it then continue? probabilities are lower. This is the high of a 5 compared to this being a B or an X, increasing probabilities for a Y or C to the downside, which probably would increase probabilities again for this high. So probably would prefer 46K first, but I need more confidence coming off this range here as well, because this has been very, very difficult to count in a lot of detail. Triple bottom on the 1 minute if you flip the chart. The one, not really involved in the 1 minute. Yes, he is Dutch. Yeah, I thought so. Harry Mens. Heist is co-founder of BitMEX. I see. I'm so clueless. I'm short at 43K. Good luck, my friend. Good luck, good luck. Arthur Hayes, geboren in 1905, is an Amerikaanse ondernemer en mede-oprichter voor I see. So he's an entrepreneur. He built the exchange, but did he also make his money trading? And if so, what strategy did he use to come up with the analysis that he has done? That would be my question. Because building a company is different, of course, than expectations of the asset. He might be right, he might be wrong. On a medium time frame, we are still looking for higher as well. So a bigger correction would be nice. I use BingX. Link is in the description as well. If you, so for you, Varnor, in case you like to support the channel as well, you can use the affiliate link. And if you do, you get $100 tomorrow, I guess, on Monday. That's usually when they then give the voucher. You can trade, and then the win will be for you and the loss is covered. So you can use 10x on it, I believe. So that's $1,000 position. And if you trade and you have a win, then you can keep all the profits. And if you lose with the voucher, then the loss is covered because it's from BingX. So I mean, why not? It's free money. If you have a winning trade, you got yourself some free money. And I think you have to enter. I think you have to check the rules. I think it has to be a trade that can be online for maximum 24 hours. So make sure to use it well. But and then tomorrow we got a new. So this is one for new users, but for existing users, by the way, or existing affiliates of this channel, if you're already supporting it, we got a campaign coming tomorrow for you guys, which is, you're trading anyway. So you're building up, you're trading, and as you trade, you will get draws to then win money, vouchers to trade, like trial funds, iPhone 15 or whatever it was. What was it? What was the thingy? So this one is coming soon. What was it? Yeah, 15 Pro. So there you go. That one is coming as well. But that one will only launch tomorrow. Not yet today. Welcome, Paulo. We then started them. Possibly. Has potential, right? There's also a lot of liquidity still, of course, on the lower end of the bigger range that we've been in for the past weeks. We grabbed the liquidity at the high, but we didn't have an impulse to the downside, and that is important for the higher time frame probabilities. I am a Elliott Wave analyst. I don't use harmonics, but I do see people using them, and I always love seeing harmonics. It always looks very nice, but I'm not a user myself. Spot pushing higher looks like Biden push price higher, but there's a passive seller. Oh, maybe the bearish CVD. Just test that inverted chart you talked about. I didn't know about it. Awesome for short entries. Make sure then if you invert the chart, you know, a short is a long and a long is a short, eh? I see bearish divergence on the 1 hour time frame. What do you think on the 1 hour? I mean, it probably depends on what you use. You might be talking about RSI because there's definitely no bearish CVD divergence on the CVD. And I only use the CVD. Because with RSI, there's the problem that you can have a lot of 4-5s. So if you have at the beginning of a trend, right, you have a couple of 1-2s, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, and then you get the big push in 3 and then a couple of 4-5s here, right? But with CVD, with RSI, what you're going to see is bearish divergences between the first 4-5, but price pushes up. And then there's another 4-5 finishing, more divergence, but price keeps going up as RSI is showing divergences, which of course makes RSI very difficult to pinpoint when the market might turn around. So you can combine it with Elliott Waves as long as you know in what degree you're working in. And yes, there is the possibility that absolutely that price is going to find more downside as well here. As there always is, because in this range it's quite difficult to count impulses to the upside locally. Not yet sure about taking the low, but at least we are in a range bound structure. If price falls below the white box and loses the point of control, yeah, I mean, we could be looking for a rotation to the downside. That is just range trading. For now, we are like this is a support resistance area and we're above it. Value area high is just above price. I have a question. What percentage of the probability do you decide to enter a trade? This is an Elliott Wave question. I use Elliott Waves for directional bias, and I developed my own personal entry strategy to enter more specifically. So it's not related to probabilities from an Elliott Wave perspective, because because the probabilities is an estimation. But what I want is very strict rules that are set in stone and not something that I believe or I think, if you know what I mean. So I developed a strategy where I can see exactly each thing that is checked without personal influence, without guessing, I suppose. So the boxes I have that I check are not related to personal opinion. So probabilities would be a personal opinion, but I don't actually trade Elliott Waves as just Elliott Waves, but I have an entry strategy that I want to see ticked before I consider entering. Do you trade Forex? No. Brother, do you use certain liquidity heat map? No, I actually don't as well. I do know people use them as well, like on Trading Light or other softwares, but I actually don't use liquidity heat maps myself. Shorting now matters where it resists, but without proof of downside. By itself, yeah, exactly. But I mean, everyone has their own plan, of course, their own plan. Yeah, always want to see some proof of support or proof of resistance. Do you still think, yo, Abaddon? Yes, that is still a possibility. It's not yet invalidated, but on a macro time frame, like on the medium, we're still looking preferably for higher here. Before then, possibly your like the macro bearish scenario, right? In my high, by the way, tonight will be the high time frame video. The cycle, macro, and high time frame video will be online tonight. So yeah, it's still on the cards. It's not invalidated by all means. Ricardo, welcome. How is your timelines working out at this point? What do you mean with my timelines, Gary? I'm a harmonic trader. There you go. I love to see it. Harmonics, Wyckoff, Elliott Waves, all bit of relation with each other, as it creates great confidence. Yeah, probably because both use fibs. Yeah, and also in a way, both use time, of course. They both use fibs. And even though harmonics focus, you also focus, because you focus on the fips, you kind of focus on the waves, not necessarily the structure of a wave, but just time and price wise. So yeah, there's confluence between the two. What do you think of the built-in TradingView Elliott Wave indicator? I don't recommend the indicator. Usually I've checked a few, but there's no indicator that can be as good as your personal judgment. Once you, of course, implement Elliott Waves, but usually the indicators show a lot of wrong information because it's lagging price. It's not leading price. So, Kun, did you know you're the best in? Oh, thank you. Has anyone ever told you that? It doesn't matter the size and what measure at this period. Thanks, Papa Mate. I love it. Thanks. I appreciate your comment, man. You've been here for a long time as well already. I appreciate it. If you continue, you're going to making me blush. Thanks, Papa, man. I appreciate it. Papa, we should do a gym session one day, no? Like go to the gym and work out. Get those muscles working, no? It should be fun times. Should visit. Yeah, I know. That's why. That's why. We have a big bearish harmonic on Bitcoin. Yeah, I've seen some coming as well. Also in Telegram, someone was sharing them. Chatting session soon. Yes, we're gonna wrap it up. Altcoins are not moving. Yeah, it's been very slow. I have tell me where to send it. Oh, just on Discord if you want me. Or if you want to. Is it probably the 45.81 was what would it be? Now we're going for C. Yes, but then C has to be a diagonal. But your wave 2 for a diagonal is very long. So then you have an ending diagonal, right? Wait, 45.8. You're talking about this high, right? And then you're going to be looking for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's going to be your C. Mainly because this being a 3-wave structure mainly. Right? So, but for a diagonal, you want a zigzag in 2. 5, you need a deep, like, you want to see a zigzag, and it's not that probable at the moment. Guys, I gotta move. I gotta go and chat with Diamond and track some statistics. CoinGlass as well. 44,800. Interesting. That's interesting. Oh, I don't do alts. Wave B can definitely be very messy. Absolutely. Yeah, Polar Bearman. Free liquidation map. 12-hour. Riding the waves, man. Polar Bearman is riding the waves. Love to see it. Okay, everyone. I hope you have a very good Sunday. At 7 p.m. I will upload cycle, macro, and high time frame update, right? The latest one was a few weeks ago during Christmas, but I mean, not too much, like, that's the thing. Not much has changed. But I will make the update, of course. So, hey, thanks everyone. Giselle, wrong timing, sorry. But yeah, thanks everyone for hanging out. Thanks for being here. I got to continue with the day. Got to go live for Diamond and track statistics now about something that we are curious about. So yes, there you go. I'm going to track statistics. I love data. I love data. So thanks for being here. Thanks for spending some time on your valuable Sunday with me. I hope you have a great day, morning, evening, night, wherever you live in the world. And let's hope that next week we are not going to be stuck in this sideways range, right? We're actually going to see some action. Who knows? Who knows? But for now, thanks for being here. And I'm going to catch you later.